Vladimir V Putin and Elena Nikitina after she won a bronze medal in skeleton at the 2014 Sochi Games. The I.O.C. is stripping Nikitina of her medal because of a doping violation. Pool photo by Mikhail. Klimentyev. The United States has displaced Russia atop the overall medals standings for the 2014 Winter Games in Sochi, following a new set of penalties related to the Russian doping scandal. The International Olympic Committee on Wednesday announced lifetime bans against 4 Russian skeleton races, ordering them to return 2 additional medals from Sochi. The decision makes for a total 10 Russian Olympians who have been disqualified after revelations of state-sponsored doping at the 2014 Games. Russia dominated the standings at Sochi, where investigators last year said an elaborate cheating operation involving the Federal Security Service had allowed the nation's athletes to use prohibited substances throughout competition and go undetected. At those games, Russia won 33 medals, 13 of them gold. The International Olympic Committee has stripped 6 medals from cross-country skiers and skeleton races, leaving Russia with 27. The United States won 28 medals at the Sochi Games. Russia is now tied for the most gold medals with Norway, formerly the second-place finisher. Among the athletes disciplined on Wednesday were Elena Nikitina, who won bronze in Sochi, and Alexander Tretyakov, who won gold. Like most winter sports officials from the sport of skeleton had not prevented Nikitina or Tretyakov from competing as the investigations against them continued over the last year. 4 days before her penalty was announced, Nikitina won a World Cup skeleton race in Park City, Utah, a key competition ahead of the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, from which she is now barred. Nikitina's Olympic medal is due to go to Katie Uhlaender of the United States, a 3-time Olympian who finished 4th in Sochi and won it since last May if she was due a bronze. Tretyakov's sanction elevates Martins Ducurs of Latvia to gold and Matthew Antoine, an American, to silver. Tomas Ducurs of Latvia moves up to bronze. Some sports officials have requested there be a medal reallocation ceremony for athletes like Uhlaender and Ducurs at the 2018 Games in February. Investigations are continuing into at least 17 other Russian Olympians who competed in Sochi and have been implicated in the doping program. All inquiries are not expected to conclude by the time of the Winter Games. Some of the sanctioned Russian athletes have appealed the disciplinary decisions to the Global Sports Arbitration Court. Thomas Bach, president of the International Olympic Committee, told the New York Times this month that he was confident the decisions were legally and would ultimately withstand those challenges. The discussion is about the procedures and due process, and you know that due process takes time, Bach said. As anti-doping authorities have agitated for broader punishment of Russia's Olympic team for the systematic cheating in Sochi, Bach is poised to announce penalties for the nation on deck. 5 in Switzerland. Russia's President Vladimir V Putin, who was actively involved in preparations for the Sochi Games, has been outspoken about the doping scandal, angrily disputing state involvement. This month, he called the first wave of Olympic sanctions a conspiracy to incite discontent among sports fans, athletes, in Russia and influence his country's presidential election in March. A version of this article appears in print on November 23, 2017, on page B12 of the New York edition with the headline "Russia stripped of 2 more Sochi medals."